Hey my you ladies and my you gents, I'm StevenTocher, and on today's episode of Thoughtful Thursday we're going to be talking about boom, Mr. Balance. For me, I've been struggling with balance for about 2 months now, but over the course of the last 10 years I have been thinking about ways to consistently balance out my day, my week, my month, my year. We're going to focus though on a week, and the reason why is because in a day you can work 10 or 12 hours, but within a week, because you have those, basically from Friday evening to Sunday, which isn't always free time, you have a chance to not be at work. Now, I understand everyone's different, and I'm going to kind of go into that a little bit. Say you have to work another job for your family, and you have different responsibilities. That's fine. This is just a baseline for you to think about. So, since we're not going with 24 hours, we're going to go with 168 hours. Now, you say, Steven, why 168 hours? The reason is because that is the length of 1 week. And if you were to break up the 4 things I want to talk to you about today, which is work, sleep, responsibilities, and rest and relaxation, or R&R, right? They would be broken up into 25% or 42 hours. Now, again, how many people actually work 42 hours or who actually, do their responsibilities for 42 hours or sleep 42 hours? I know it's not going to happen. But this is just a good average or breakdown, okay? And we're actually going to break down some of the numbers in a second. However, it also goes down from the pyramid. Now, this isn't a pyramid scheme. This is just how things work in life. Like for instance, you have a boss at work, you have, people underneath the boss, and you have other people. You have a team captain, you have a coach, you have a team captain, and then people trickle down from there. That's just how life does, and people call it, pyramid schemes and all that stuff. All it is what it comes down from in your life, and things are going to get wider and wider because you're more and more spread out. Alright, so for me, it's God. Now I can understand, for instance, if you're a person who believes in energy, yourself, if you believe, that we're just, people who make our own destiny, or you believe in multiple gods, that's fine. At the end of the day, it comes back to the same type of idea that there's usually some form of morality or thought process that's trickling down into each part of our life after that. Now, if one's going past, injecting, for instance, for me, it's God into the rest of my life, it would be my family. Because whatever I do from here should be directly reflected down to here with my family and how I treat people. Alright, so with my family, and I heard this amazing quote, which will hopefully stick with me for the rest of my life, is, my family gets the best, and life gets the rest. So that's why I put family above work, above sleep, above responsibilities, and above rest and relaxation. Now granted, sleep is extremely important because you can't help family or concentrate on God if you're not sleeping, but it's the order in which you're thinking about these things. If it's 5:30 a.m. and you got to choose between going for a run or your baby crying, I hope you're choosing your baby in that crib who's crying and maybe giving mom or dad a break who's been dealing with them all night. And again, everyone's situation is completely different, just a hypothetical right there. Alright, so let me break down now how we inject these 2 things into the rest of our lives. Alright, so let's start off with work. I'm going to give work 48 hours, okay? 48 hours a week. The reason why I'm giving work 48 hours a week is because I know we work a lot in our society. Canada is actually one of the worst countries for the average person working hours. We work, and usually this is more like 50 or 60. And then on top of that, we don't like our jobs. So if you're spending more than 48 hours or more than 25% of your life working, these 3 things have to be very enjoyable for you to even hack this. Now again, if you're working your face off for your family, I commend you. I look up to you and you are my hero, because there are a lot of people that neglect their family and they neglect their quote-unquote values and their morals up here, right? And when you do that, you're destroying the fabric of, I think, of who you are as a person. So work is very important, but it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all, which ends up happening. The next is sleep. For instance, if you sleep 6 hours a day times 7 days a week, which I know a rarity of people do that. Sometimes they sleep 3 hours, sometimes they sleep 12 hours, and sometimes they get, everything in between. We're gonna allot maybe 42 hours to sleep. Now some of you might laugh and say, "You kidding me, Steve? 42 hours? Are you nuts? I don't get 42 hours. Or what do you mean 42 hours, Steve? I need to sleep at least 10 hours a day." That's fine. This is just, again, a guideline, because I give you a scenario. If you're not sleeping properly, then chances are when you go to work and you're Mr. or Mrs. Grumpy Pants, they're not going to be happy, and you are going to maybe mess up things, you're going to do things. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to be able to perform in a lot of the other areas in your life. Alright, let's go to responsibilities now, where as much as, and we're gonna actually put 40 hours for this one, okay? Now, 40 hours for responsibilities. Now, this doesn't mean you dedicate, an entire quarter of your life and you sit down and say, this is what I need to do, blah, blah, blah. Because chances are you're doing those things already. For instance, you go buy groceries, you're doing the laundry, you're cleaning your house, you're running around to kids' practices, you're, making sure you're at the parent interview, you're making sure that, everything is stocked up, you're doing your taxes, da, da, da. Those are your responsibilities in life that people are counting on, whether they're your kids, your spouse, your parents, you school, teachers, whoever you might be. Those responsibilities that we have as people need to take a huge chunk of our life because they just do. Or if we don't, we can't function. And again, if our responsibilities are messed up, right, we might not have a place to sleep. If we don't pay our bills and stuff like that from our work, or if we don't do things that we're supposed to, we can really screw up our family. All right, last but not least, to kind of even this whole big gauge out, since I've given, instead of 42, 42, 42, 42, right, I'm going to give 40, 42, and then 48 here. I'm going to give 38 to rest and relaxation, okay? So that, again, simple math, should add up to 168 hours. Now, rest and relaxation needs to be a massive part of your life. Maybe it's the fact of, I work, Steve, 8-9 hours a day. Well, usually you get a break, and during that break you need to find something you love to do, whether it's talking with somebody, making some food, having all your ingredients. Maybe it's just, getting a chance to do a drawing or, play hacky sack. Do what you got to do while at work to rest. Okay? When you're at your responsibilities, doing the responsibilities you have to do, maybe you have to do your taxes. Well, get into your beanie bag chair and do your taxes. If you need to just sit down and chill with your stamp collection, play a couple hours of video games, maybe you need to just go out for a massive run and do your exercises, that also can be a reliever, a relaxation. It might not be rest per se, but it's relaxing you. If you start thinking about these things, again, everyone's life is completely different, but if you start thinking about ways that you can really break down, proper sleep, getting your responsibilities done, resting properly, usually through your hobbies, through working out, through spending time with your spouse, your children, and when you can start really, in particular, decreasing this problem, which is work, which a lot of people don't do, I promise you, this will get better and that will get better. This up here is injecting into that, and that cycle will come right back up. And as you balance out the bottom here, you're going to find that the balance in your family becomes better, and of course, as who you are as a person and how you're acting. And for me as a Christian, how I am as a vessel. Because for instance, if I'm not getting enough rest and relaxation, if I haven't gone to my hobbies and done things I need to, I tell you, I'm very tired here, I'm too stressed out to sleep, and I'm miserable at work. Vice versa, if I don't get, for instance, maybe I'm working in a very, very bad situation, usually that's going to affect the way I sleep, my responsibilities, and I'm not going to want to rest because I'm too stressed. Now, I'll also say this, you can't have a perfect life. All these things aren't going to work. I understand that. But I say this one thing. If, for instance, one thing is bugging you, say your responsibilities to your family is out of control, then I want you to take the idea of responsibilities, and I want these three parts of your life to pick up the slack. If responsibilities are too much for you, I need you to maybe spend a little bit more time relaxing. Find a way, like I said before, maybe doing your taxes in your beanie bag chair to make your responsibilities a little bit lighter. If you're functioning on 3 out of the 4, that's fantastic. But the problem is most people, they don't function, especially in these two areas properly, and these two suffer, or they really take the time, to deal with this, but they don't really take the time to deal with this. They're in and out of jobs, they're not sleeping properly. If you can somehow get all 4 of these aligned, not to the prescribed hours and percentages I'm talking about, but properly balanced, I'm fairly sure a lot of other things in your life will go right. Inject your morals, your thoughts, your values, whatever you believe in, into your family, treat your family with tons of respect. These things will start to work a lot better, and the trickling, the relationships, everything else that come from each one of these categories, I'm fairly sure will go better for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a comment or question and you think I'm bonkers, that's cool too. Drop it in the comments section below. If you'd like, to read a little bit more on this, check out the blog, check out the website, check that out in the description. And I just want to once again thank you for hearing me talk. I know I'm fairly proficient in talking, and I want you to have yourself, hoping you have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless. Oh yeah, and if you like what I'm doing, please tweet, tumble, like, share, thumbs up, plus, pin, or do whatever you do, and please subscribe.